Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here, coach of the Bronx Beartics with my week 6 team builder for the P4G. This week we're actually taking on GalacticElliot, coach of the Chicago Cubchoos. So we got the Bronx Beartics versus the Chicago Cubchoos. Should be a lot of fun. As you can see by the team he's drafted, he has a bunch of hard hitters, Darmanitan, Tyrantrum, Araquanid. On top of that, Araquanid gives him Sticky Web. And then he has a really good defensive core of Cofagrigus, Licky Licky, Serena for Rapid Spin. Articuno can be Sub-Roost. Hitmontop again for Rapid Spin as well. Speed and Electrode. And then he has some really cool lower tier picks like Crocorock, which you can definitely come because I do have a Mesprit and it's pretty decent versus it. And Floette, which is the potential fighting resist. But again, when going into this game, and big shout to Chimpback by the way, so you know the people who help me out in general when they give me ideas and whatnot. I came up with this really cool idea that I can't wait to show you. It's actually the second Pokemon, but I want to give a big shout out to Chimpback to definitely help me when it came to Hariyama, Roserade, and Mawile, all of which came this week and just helped me with EVs that he thought were smart, and then just gave me some reasoning. And I tested them, and I customized some EVs as well on Hariyama. Not really customized it, the 2v2, but I ended up with what I liked. But yeah, so Sticky Web is a giant threat versus me, and honestly, I don't think I'm going to be able to prevent them. So the way I made this team was, okay, it's okay if he has Sticky Web up or not, because I have a switch into a lot of his offensive threats. As you can see, Incineroar can switch in once on Darmanitan. My Incineroar actually outspeeds Adamant Araquanid by 1 point, and Fake Out into my Malicious Moonsault does knock it out, guaranteed if it's running max HP and not defensive investment. So knocks it out guaranteed. I have U-turn as well for a little bit of momentum, as this thing does for switches. If I have it in versus Serena, if I have it in versus Articuno, that's not being a sub. Maybe versus Cofagrigus, it will help out in that case. So I have U-turn for momentum, and then I have Flare Blitz because that's my best way of dealing damage to the Serena as well as Articuno. So I wanted an Incineroar that could outspeed the Araquanid. I wanted to maximize its attack because, again, with its Darkest Lair, it helps me deal with something like Cofagrigus, maybe like a Curse Licky Licky, which could be a little bit annoying. So those definitely help me out in my opinion versus that. Now, he has, I don't know, his team versus me, and I'm really struggling. I really was scared looking at his team, but I'm so excited about the next Pokemon. I was debating on Pokemon that could help me if he does bring Sticky Web. How the hell am I going to beat, Darmanitan, Tyrantrum, Araquanid, even Articuno? I think specifically Articuno could be very scary under Sticky Web because it can just Sub-Roost stall me with its pressure ability, obviously. So I was thinking about Scarf Zygarde. That was the first thing that came to mind, since Adamant Scarf Zygarde outspeeds Darmanitan, Tyrantrum, and Araquanid and Sticky Web, as well as Articuno, and threatens them with Stone Edge, 1,000 Arrows, respectively. Outrage. But there was something else I had on my team, and that's Diancie, and we're bringing Choice Scarf Diancie this week. Choice Scarf Diancie with Clear Body. I don't care about Sticky Web because I don't get the speed drop. With 228 speed investment, Hasty Nature, I outspeed Darmanitan, Jolly Darmanitan, I outspeed Tyrantrum, Araquanid, and Articuno. This is the 4-in-1 killer. We have Diancie with Power Gem and Moonblast, and that basically deals with Darmanitan, Tyrantrum, Araquanid, Articuno. I have a Diamond Storm as well because that hits Araquanid as well as Articuno harder. It's a solid KO on Articuno, whereas Power Gem can sometimes not be, and hits Araquanid as well harder. Also hits Hitmontop, threatens that, which is a spinner with Moonblast. And then I have Heal Bell as my last move. I wanted Hasty because I wanted the attack investment to just let me do more damage in general. But I'm so excited about this thing this week because Scarf Diancie is so cool versus, even if he wants to bring Sticky Web, this is why I'm so happy. And even if I'm not able to break Araquanid, because he could very easily run like a Fizz Def Araquanid with Ice Beam to check my Zygarde, because Zygarde's a giant threat. That or Serena is definitely going to be one of his threat checks to it. But Scarf Diancie helps me not care even if he has the Sticky Web and has the offensive pressure. And I'm really excited about this mon. Outspeeds everything on his team outside of Electrode, but that's a giant threat. But yeah, even if Sticky Web outspeeds those mons because of Clear Body, negating the speed drop. So I thought it would be pretty cool. Next up, we have Gator-sama, my Hariyama. Now we're running Fizz Def, Thick Fat. I kind of need this because Darmanitan claims one with Flare Blitz no matter what. And it's funny because like Life Orb, Flare Blitz into Life Orbs and Headbutt still KOs Hariyama. But if Hariyama, or if Darmanitan goes for a Flare Blitz, a Sheer Force boosted Flare Blitz, he will take 40% after hitting me. 40%. So you have to recall, you know, Rocky Helmet and whatnot. He'll take the 40% from that. I go for Fake Out. That's another 20, 25%. And I can switch accordingly to maybe my Incineroar, which also has Fake Out, get up a little bit more chip. The idea of Hariyama, it's a rock resist, so it can come in on Tyrantrum or Darmanitan. Mainly Darmanitan, I want to say. But with an Impish Nature 4 attack investment, I guarantee 2-hit KO Licky Licky after Leftovers Recovery with close combat. I think Fake Out Bullet Punch is the smartest I could do versus him in case he has like a Dragon Dance or a Rock Bias Tyrantrum, which in that case, it obviously outspeeds my Diancie if it's +1. Because Diancie's not that fast to begin with, but I wanted Bullet Punch for that. And then Close Combat Knockoff just gave me some solid coverage versus him. It pretty much hits the entire team for neutral or super effective damage. Floette's the only thing that can't hit, but then again, Bullet Punch is still technically super effective. But even then, I can knock it off. But Impish, max HP, max defense, 4 attack investment, so I could 2-hit KO Licky Licky. Next up, we have MV the Rose Raid coming, and again, these guys are kind of the reasons why I don't care about webs as much, because I have a switch in for every single one of his Pokemon. This is a Fizdef Rosary, but it's Timid Nature. 28 speed investment allows me to outspeed Adamant Serena, because Serena can definitely be a threat to my team. We're running Natural Cure Black Sludge this week, Toxic Spike, Sludge Bomb, Protect, and Synthesis. With T-Spikes plus Fake Out from 2 Mons, it really does wear down his offensive Pokemon a lot. Again, he does have Spinner, Defogger, whatever, but if you bring Sticky Webs, that's better for me if you defog, right? And it's not hard for me to get these T-Spikes again, because I always switch this thing in on Arachnid. I can always switch it in on Hitmontop and whatnot, Serena as well. With the Fizdef, and shout out to Chimpack who made the EV spread, which I really liked. Typically, I've been doing a lot of the building, the spreads, the calcing and whatnot, but I talked about this with him and CTC in a call. It was just right before I streamed. It was like a half-hearted type of thing. It was like, hey, what do you guys think I should bring versus this guy? Because he has a really scary team. I was like, I'm bringing Scarf Diancie. He was like, oh, that's really cool. He's like, you should bring Rose Raid. And I was like, oh, okay. And then Chimpack took like a step further and just like, hey, I think this Rose Raid would be really cool versus him. But Protect racks up another turn of poison. Synthesis allows me to repeatedly switch in on something like Serena as well as Arachnid, which I am not 2-hit KO'd at all by, and I can just Synthesis it up. I can Sludge Bomb, poison it, wear it down. Really like Rose Raid. Also allows me to absorb T-Spikes as well if he wants to bring them on his own, because he does have Cofagrigus, which does have access to T-Spikes. Really nice. Gives me an Electrode switch in as well, which can definitely be a threat just because of its speed versus me. Next up, we have Hugo, my Mawile. Now, it's Fizdef Mawile with Shuckaberry. Again, Chimpact came up with this too, and I actually liked it. And in practice, it did a lot of work. Thank you to my guys who practice with me. Count, appreciate it, and whatnot. Sticks, thank you so much for making the team. It actually gave me a lot of ideas. Zazo made a team too, but I wasn't able to play him, unfortunately. But it's 92 defense, 252 HP Shuckaberry. This allows me to switch in on a Choice Band Tyrantrum's Earthquake. I can take a Head Smash into a Life Orb Earthquake as well after Intimidate. And the set is Stealth Rock, Protect, Iron Head, and Sucker Punch. Originally it was Stealth Rock, Protect, Play Rough, and Sucker Punch, but I changed it to Iron Head because I don't like the idea of missing. And the idea is that Play Rough into Sucker Punch did like 75% minimum. So with Protect and the Poison, if I have T-Spike up, they'll knock him out, right? But Iron Head obviously does a little bit less, but at the same time, with T-Spike being up, I can get the Iron Head damage, I can Protect, I can Sucker Punch, get a little bit of chip damage, I get my Stealth Rock up as well. I think it's a good Stealth Rocker versus him because it does resist Articuno's attacks. Granted, he could bring an offensive Articuno with HP Steel, like Flying MZ, HP Steel, or even Life Orb Articuno, which is a giant threat versus me if it does hit its Hurricanes, which is another reason why I like Life Orb or Scarf Diancie, because if he does have Life Orb HP Steel or HP Steel in general, he's probably more tempted to stay in after he gets a little bit of damage off on me. So my Scarf Diancie can pick up the KO. But Mawile is able just to pivot in on Tyrantrum and get up rocks. That's really its job. Like when I build these teams, certain Pokemon have specific roles and I stick to them by the book. Because in all the end games that I've played, Scarf Diancie has won for me. So that's kind of like the way I go into these games. Like if I can win with Scarf Diancie, that's great. Wear him down with this. That's as if, of course, he brings a more offensive team. If he brings a more defensive team, I still have the defensive backbone to switch into most Mons. Nasty Blocker Farius could be a threat, but I do have Incineroar, which means he might not even want to bring it. And Hariyama plus knockoff from Hariyama, T-Spikes and whatnot, wearing down a Licky Licky, which doesn't even, 2-hit KO Rose Raid with Body Slam or whatnot return. does really well. But yeah, really like Mawa as a stealth rocker, and is switching, also switching to Floette if needed, and him on top can Intimidate, excuse me, can be really clutch as well, maybe versus something like him on top. Or Rockwanid, Tyrantrum, even Darmanitan, that could stop me from losing. Last but not least, I have this Calm Mind Mesprit, and it's Calm Mind Rest, Recycle, Psychic with a Chesto Berry. So again, sub Calm Mind Articuno could very much be a threat versus me, that's for sure. So this is something that can easily pressure stall that. I'm faster than Jolly Serena as well, which I wanted to hit, just in case, because knockoff and whatnot. Max HP. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm back. But yeah, Calm Mind, Rest, Recycle, Psychic, Chesto Berry, Mesprit. Now, I like the idea of using Recycle with this thing because it can allow me to actually beat something like Licky Licky. This thing also outspeeds Tyrantrum, which is pretty good. Araquanid, it's not affected by obviously the T-Spikes. Darmanitan does outspeed it though, but gives me a switch into Hitmontop, can stall and pressure Articuno just because I can Calm Mind, Rest, and not burn any turns if I want to. I don't have to go for Recycle. And just gives me a potential win con if I need it. I thought that was pretty cool. Fighting resist and whatnot. It's decently bulky as well. And it forces in something like Darmanitan to honestly come in Flare Blitz because it outspeeds Tyrantrum, like I said, in Araquanid with T-Spike, Stealth Rock up. Those mons are not going to want to take repeated hits. So it forces in Darmanitan, which gives me the easy switch into Hariyama. Like I'll always switch in Hariyama on Darmanitan instead of staying with Mesprit and get that chip damage that I talked about. And, you know, if I have Stealth Rock up and then it takes that 40% and then I go for Fake Out, Darmanitan's dead. So Mesprit is kind of like the glue, gives me a little bit of an answer to his fat as well. And with T-Spikes, I don't care too much about Krokorok as long as I'm able to wear it down. I don't know if he'll bring Krokorok versus me. I honestly don't know. But if he does, I have to definitely make sure my T-Spikes do the damage to him. But either way, I feel like Mesprit can put in the work, which is why I'm really excited to use this set. And again, he could have knockoff on Licky Licky, which is definitely a big thing because you can't recycle items that got knocked off. But I will 100% scout for that. And also, I just won't recycle. Like, I'll just go for Calm Mind and Rest. Like, a Mesprit is in no danger of losing to Licky Licky if it's not an offensive variant with Curse or SD. And even if it is an SD variant, even that, it needs enough boost to break through me. Plus, I have Hariyama, I have Incineroar, Z-Move, which kind of nukes him on his team. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited about the team this week. I hope you guys are looking forward to the game versus the Chicago Cubchoos. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.